That's Eli using a pencil sharpener. So, figured out that if I open YouTube, that's where there's a 10-minute or a 10-second delay. So I don't know if I can hear without it. I'm going to give it a shot just to see. Apparently, I can still hear through my mic. All right, so I don't have to have it open. I should be able to see anybody that's in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to do a Copic draw stream. That's why my camera is turned down and you can't see my face, which is probably a blessing for you. So I've got the whole swath of neutral grays. And I've had a lot of people ask me how to blend the grays like I do. And mostly it's because I use them backwards. I'm also going to be using a white Posca. Let's see if I can get this in the picture. Yep, a white Posca marker. This is a fine line marker. And this is the whole array of Copics. Obviously, I've already done the line work on this one. I didn't know how long I was going to stream or if anyone's even going to be here to watch or speak. So, while I'm unpacking them, I'm using the free version of live stream right now because I don't know how to use anything else. And I don't have the money to pay for the upgrades because, well, you know, I'm not earning money yet. This is quiet. Shouldn't be quiet, but I got nobody to talk to, so somebody hop in. Let's see. It's too quiet. Don't really want to talk to myself. Okay, so I know where the light source is because I did the heavy blacks. So light's pretty much coming from straight up above, a little bit to the right. Now, because I'm going to use white Posca to go over some of this later on, I pretty much can color over whatever I want to color. I guess I got to move the mic a little bit closer so at least I can hear me. Mostly what I hear is Eli sniffing. So I'm going to start with a 0. 0 is extremely light, but when you're doing the top side and the light source is slightly to the right, you don't want anything really heavy on the top. Well, I don't want anything really heavy on the top. There are reasons if you want an alternate light source for a reason, but because I've already done the blacks here, I don't. Now this, I'm going to do right down the center and darken it up. So normally I don't start with the lights, but in this case, I don't intend to do anything with that particular one. Usually I start dark and work my way light, or start medium and work my way light. Somewhere around 5 or 6 is the dark. And I can get darker, but with these, when I start lighter, I can brush lights over them later and lighten them up if I don't like where they're going. And I'm coloring straight across everything because I'm going to come through with that Posca white and use the fine tip to bring back out the separations that I want in the middle. That's Eli sniffing. I find sometimes that I have a hard time with the tips producing the way I want them to. So I'll go from the fine tip, which I was using, to the wider tip because I can still control it. And I don't use it a lot, so it flows freer. And I just reloaded these markers too, so that's something that I should probably make a note of. These are reloadable. There's a little divot on the bigger ones, but there's the reload you just drip on here and it'll soak in. It tells you how many to use or how many would be too much. These are separate glows. I don't know really what they're supposed to be, but they glow. So I'm taking that into account. It's a minor separate light source, and I'm just going to use it for these couple of parts. So Jake. So I have one viewer. Once again, that's Eli sniffing. Right. We did that first. Did that and the laundry. For the most part. I'm attempting to make this look like metal. I think I may have to reload my number 6. So I'm going to come in with my number 7 and then lighten it up. But that's what's cool about these is that you can lighten them up by going over them with the next lighter. Sometimes multiple lighters. And he wants the cat's attention. It's a really weird angle, so I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing. The newer markers, it's easier to get really, really dark really, really fast. Let's see if I can slide this up for a second. Maybe you can see it a little better. Probably not, but I tried. And this is a really, really dark one. But it will serve to prove part of the reason that I'm doing this stream, because so many people really ask me about using Copics and blending Copics, because I like to use them and a lot of people just don't know how. Subbladder page. It's just something to keep me from smearing it with the bottom of my hand as I'm working, if it's not dry yet. So it'll lighten up a little bit as it dries, if you notice. But when I brush like that, it allows me to, when I blend, do the same thing. Kind of pull out and kind of lengthen it out a little bit. a lot of this black that I'm going over is Copic 2. Some of it's Fudenosaki or Fudenasuki, which is a really good uh, marker, pen, but it has like a marker tip, a stiffer marker tip. So it allows for doing like fine stuff. Getting in my own life. I went across there, but I'm going to pull out of it with the lighter color, lighter hue, not color, lighter value. Now, he's actually a lighter color here, just like a frog is. Surprise. So, I'm going to use a different tact. And a different value through that spot. Once again, I'm not worried about this because I'm going to come through with Posca white paint pen and refine anything that I don't like because I can just go right over it. Because it's a white paint pen. That should go without saying, but nothing goes without saying these days. All right. Not much talking going on because there's no one to talk to.
I got myself this spin moss deck, so actually Dad bought it for me. You know, from the TikTok. Okay, wanna say hi to your sister?
No.
What do you mean? What's really strong?
So I'm using number 5. There we go. And I'm muting because there's a lot of noise. And I'm also going to be brushing this number 5 over the number 7 and the number 7 that I just finished using. When that dries, it'll lighten up. Okay, so been quiet now that the noise has died down a little bit. I'm going to put the mic back on and talk to myself for a while. So I'm blending number 5 over number 7. Keeping in mind where the light source is and where it would hit and where it would be blocked. And some of this is going to be lightened again with the next value. As you can tell, I had to get another light because it wasn't bright enough. Well, that still casts a red shadow, but it's pretty bright, so. So it should be fairly liberating actually to use these because you know you can lighten them up as I lightened up this section here by going over the dark marker with the lighter marker. Just what's so great about these markers is that you can do that. You can lighten up whatever you want to. And there's no rules on how far you can go before you have to. It's whatever you like. And you can play around and experiment and blend and lighten them. And there's a spot that I don't like because it crossed there. But I'm going to take care of that. Not worried about it at all. That's why it's liberating, because you know you can fix it. You can go back in and fix it. I can leave this for a day and then come back in and fix it. Just like handheld paints. Hopefully you can see all this. I go down into the one and I go up from the dark, and that's blending that darker lighter as I go up. And because I can do this kind of stroke and flick after I'm done, then it allows a gradation in the marker. Now see, I colored over and it looks like it's getting darker, but when it dries, it'll get lighter. I'm coming from a tattoo artist background. This makes it easier for me because I'm accustomed to allowing some stuff to heal. And I've actually mistakenly said let it heal, or meaning let it dry. Always to keep in mind the light source. Now you do, every time you go over that value, you darken it up a little bit. But it's a blend, and as long as you know that it's a blend, you can decide how far you go and how dark you get. Now, if you go over the lighter stuff with a darker marker, that doesn't blend the edges very well. It actually works in the opposite capacity. It makes those edges hard. This, when I go over this at the next lighter value, it will actually blend it softer. Like I did here, it softens. It doesn't have that hard marker edge. Now this blending, the blacks that I laid down, the blacks don't blend. So there, you can color over them and blend over them without worrying about it, because the blacks stay put. It's a pretty good mic. I can hear the cat lapping up water. Recommend highly. Let's see if I can control it with the gain. Turn it down a little bit. Now I got to be able to hear myself. So, unfortunately, not one of those people that likes to hear myself. So. Yeah, there's no blending with the white part either. The white's pretty much white whenever you do it. That's that hard edge thing that I was talking about with the black. Like Posca is an acrylic marker, I'm pretty sure. So I might be able to get some feathering to it, but that's really not what the purpose I've got it for is. It's the purpose is those hard lines. I have in mind to try to paint this afterwards, but I think maybe before I do that, make sure I don't ruin it. I'll scan it and put it on the laptop in black and white, and maybe even color it on the in Clip Studio. Don't do a lot of using Clip Studio anymore. I should, but I don't because it's a little bit much to take out and pack away every time because I use a tablet or a monitor tablet, which I love, don't get me wrong, but that and the pen it's not a Cintiq, and I actually was looking at a Cintiq because the Cintiqs are a little bit cheaper right now, but it's not a Cintiq, so it doesn't quite have the same capabilities with the pen, and I kind of want to wait to play around with something like that when I can. I hear trouble. Jeez. I don't know how much I missed. I put it on mute because of the noise. So, using the next one later. This, I was saying, this is not my character. This is Ethan Van Sciver's character, Cyber Frog. This is fan art, but it's something I had prepared so that I could answer questions about Copics. Much easier. See, how can you not love that ability to blend like that? I do not know, because I do. I don't use Copics all the time. Probably I should use them much more. I do love them so, but trying to do a lot of different things. Try to keep this usage light on this because this underbelly is supposed to be like a frog's underbelly, which is a lighter color, lighter value. Once again, when you're working with Copics, if you go a little bit too dark, you can always lighten it up the next value. Or the Posca white. I would love for someone to ask me questions, but nobody's here to ask questions now. That, by the way, is not blood on his side. It's honey. It's made from honey. I just reloaded all of these markers. So it's all fresh. So I want to lighten this up just a little bit more. So I'm hitting it with the 4. It's a pretty big leap, but pretty sure everyone can handle it. switch ends. Let's see if I can get a little bit smoother what I'm trying to get. Just some brush blending. Nope, that's not happening. So, fortunately, this is not the final hue. There will be a lighter value. It will be lighter. I'll leave an edge where the light is, but I want to leave the edge to kind of look like it's sharp. Also, for the next progression, focus. Number 3. You probably guessed that, but when you're this far into it, you're this far into it. Toes are actually green, so I can get away with putting a value in there, so long as at the end it still looks metallic. Because that's the thing, right? The cyber part. Blend, 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 blend. And we're just following the folds into the shadows now. Trying to make sure that they look like folds. Not often, but blend a very particular spot. You'd think the marker tip does that, but marker tips really blend very well because you're basically playing with a paintbrush. But the thicker marker tips are more articulate. Yeah. Sometimes. Most of the time. And you can color back and forth over something and still blend it. So so long as you go light over dark. Oh, damn. Didn't think you were going to make it. Glad you did. So as long as you're coloring lighter over the darker, blends pretty cleanly. Now if you've got a lot of detail lines in there, kind of blends a little bit cleaner because those lines obscure whatever patchiness that you'd find. And normally I'd use the tip and brush the tip, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. So did you have a good dinner? Oh, it was a movie, right? Dinner and a movie. Coloring circles like this builds a little bit of the moisture to blend without having the stroke that interrupts what you're trying to do. Looks less sloppy. I really like the number 3s. But they're also in relation to whatever you're doing. Tips of his fingers are just like his toes. They're technically green metal, so I can put a value in them. Just so long in the end as it looks like metal. These are also green metal. Anything that's green metal you can put a value into. Of course, this is just a value drawing, so I might paint over it, or I might do it digitally. Digitally, I'm safe, right? I don't destroy anything in the process. This is my signature, hidden in the picture. Nobody cares. Next value. Everybody loves a good number 2. Gotta get used to this camera. Number 2. So now I want every bit of the cloak pretty much covered except for where I'm going to highlight with white. And that's arbitrary. I mean, just the light source. But it's already working towards the light source with the values. So you really can't go wrong at this stage. You're just filling the last little bit and making it blend. It always looks darker when it goes on. It always lightens up once it's there. And I like to kind of color over the last layer, not just knead it up, because that kind of blends them. It looks less like it's just like staged color or something. But it will lighten up to the value that I'm putting on. Of course, like I said earlier, the more you go over it, the more you lighten it. I don't want these too light because they're in the shadow. That's the secret to blending, is that you really just pull it into the other color and pull it out of the other color. But always lighter over darker, because if you go darker over lighter, it gives you a hard edge. And with blending, that's not what you want. That should look like cloth for the most part. These markers are really good, and I can control how light or dark they go, even for the value that I'm putting on, by how many times I go over it. Pretty fearless, because I'm going to come in with that white Posca marker and just have at it at the end. But for now, still have 2 more values that I can go to lighten it, so it's going to get a really 3D effect in the end. I'm glad someone stopped in to talk. I know I already said it, but I wanted to make it part of the picture so it doesn't really take away from the picture. The old trend in comic books and stuff, you do this flag or this little banner with the letters on it, your initials and the date, or your initials and the colorist's initials, or whatever, inker, colorist. But I've come to the place where I don't want to be as intrusive with the art. I want to let the art show as much as I can. I don't want to hide any of it, for better or worse. I'm blocking my own light. It's driving me nuts. Let's see if I can turn this light to an angle that just blinds me. So I'm using that thicker end so I can articulate better and blend a little better. Some of it works fine the way it is, and I'll leave it alone. Some of it doesn't get what I want, so I'll go back over it. You see, I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's two different values from the same marker. So I'm coloring over it, making it darker, but when I come back in with the next value, that's going to be lighter. I was talking about coming in here with white, but I don't think I'm going to like that. Maybe highlight, spot some whites. I'm guessing you, oh, the light. Guessing you don't do a whole lot lately on playing around with your own art, do you? Which is a shame. Guess what's also green? It's a lot of green. Cyberfrog. Go figure. Guess I might as well commit. I was trying to brush and get a brush effect, but it wasn't working. But I am going to highlight a little bit with white at the end, so might as well just go over it all of it. That is also green. It's like Kermit the Destroyer. So the light's going to be blocked by his head till that point. And just a little bit beyond. Green or the neutral grays. This is where I turn the page. Green, yeah, right. And all this black, right? So this set is neutrals, but they also have cool grays which have kind of a blue tint, and warm grays which have kind of a not really sepia tint, but tinted that direction. They're just warmer. Also, again, for you, if you missed it, this is not blood, it's honey. It's honey. Same lame joke as before. It's made of honey. Consistency, if not redundancy. Sip of my drink. I've got this camera turned around and flipped upside down because I can't get it to just turn views. I can't get a second camera on unless I pay for it. So I've got to figure out OBS or something because either that or pay for it. But I don't want to pay for it unless I'm making money, you know? I don't have money. I am poor. Not starving, but poor. let's see what a number 1 will do. Should lighten this right up. I want to show that there's a ridge to his brow. That's why I'm leaving this a little bit white, so it looks stretched a little bit more tighter. More tighter, more tightly. I know there's a hatred of adverbs in the writing community, but we use them, really. They have a purpose. They can be overused, and they can be used in a way where they don't allow you to strengthen what you're saying. They weaken what you're saying because of laziness, but they can also be used to good effect, which is what I'm hoping to do. Can you see the difference I made? I'm one step ahead. I'm 10,000 steps behind a lot of guys too, but art's a journey, man. Everyone gets there in their own time, their own way, and there's no destination. It's just getting to where you want to be. Allowing yourself to find the ways that you want to. I have a hard time because I like control, and I had a hard time allowing myself to be free with a lot of stuff. I gotta come back to number 4 because is it number 4 or number 3? Let's see. Oh, number 4. I was right. Imagine that. Or number 3. That's the other trick. I said number 4. If you go over lighter with darker, it leaves a harder edge. But if you go over all of the lighter with the darker, it still blends, but it blends evenly. I'm going to put glares and shines and whatever all through there in a little bit anyway. It's funny, the background stuff with all the little twists and folds and rolls and stuff like that. It's going to go a lot quicker because I can just color it with color the large shapes and then come back in and refine what I need to, but it's the background and I don't want it to be anywhere near overpowering the foreground image. So I want it to be muted a bit. Probably should hit that. So I'm going to hit that. Probably should hit this with darker stuff. So I want the white. I'm going to get too dark because I don't want to compete. So I'm going to go with a number 3 for the dark. Yeah, I'm going to use the marker kit. Larger shapes. Do you want me to send you an invite? Your camera working? Put your face on screen while I'm drawing. You can talk. Guess what we were listening to before Sepultura, Suicidal. Yeah, you would. Yes, yes, you would. For posterity. Whatever that means. I figure I've reached an age to be able to make a fool of myself if I want. I was more being facetious. You know how that term is thrown around. Everybody uses it. Not everybody knows what it means. For later people to discover. And that's exactly it. That's this whole thing, is to help anyone that doesn't understand how to blend the Copics. And I'm not blending with colors, but that's just as possible if you know what you're doing with color. Certain colors will mute colors, will make colors duller, muddier. Certain colors will bring out other colors and make them sharper and finer and more in your face. And that's, you have to determine what the effect that you want to get is. But knowing how to get that effect is what I'm trying to help with. Of course, not on color right now, but color, the secret to color are values anyway. So you need to know what are complementary colors and what are colors that will blend and colors that will you muddy by coloring complementary colors together. The more you color them together, the darker, more saturated you get with them. The I guess I'm going to just jump right to N1. So I'm going from N3 to N1. The N is neutral, so, but I'm going skip a couple of values because I don't want to have this muddy all together. Hey Brett, how you doing? Basically doing is a stream to show how to blend Copics, and a lot of people that have been using these as markers use them as markers, and they get the choppy edges and don't know how to get clean edges. So this whole stream's about blending and different different values to get effect. At the end, I'm going to come in with white and highlight. I've done a little bit of that when I did in black and white, but I'm going to do it more so to get effect on the clothes and effect on the armor a little bit more, and to get separation on the segments. Brett meet Dan. Dan meet Brett. Brett is a writer and a teacher. Dan is a retired piercer and mechanic and all-around handy guy. Forced into retirement. Like me. Kinda. I fortunately don't have to twist a wrench. Hey, Brett, do you want me to send you the link? Do you want to come in? Do you want to stream with me? Like the link for you to join my stream. I think that's what you're asking, right? Okay, well, you don't have to, certainly. I haven't had anyone actually on stream with me yet. I mean, I've had both Dan and Jake have been in the chat. I think Chad's been in the chat a couple of times too. He's a tattoo artist that was my apprentice for a little while. He only needed some basic warm-ups, I guess. Fresheners, refreshers. Oh, I hear someone. That Eli?
No.
Huh?
No.
Oh, that's Amanda. And I'm going to mute for a couple of minutes to give her a chance to make all the noise she needs to make
I'm sorry.
without sounding like it's making noise for everybody. I'll look up at the chat every once in a while, click off and talk to you, but I'll give it a couple of minutes. And I'm back. So yeah, the contrast is kind of the point. That's kind of what I was talking about before you entered, or maybe when you entered, is to leave the background muted, but enough so that you can see the detail. Because this is the focus. This is what I want you to be looking at. And I'm going to be coming in after I get all of these grays done. I got one more lighter value of gray to go. But once I get all of these grays in, I'm going to come in with some whites and play around with the depth on that. I think Jesse was interested in doing some comic stuff because I was talking about doing alpha as a graphic novel. And he was saying that he wanted a graphic novel made too. So, but I asked him about it and he hasn't gotten back to me. So I don't know if he's checking this stream out at any point in time. He's gonna know I called him out. No, Jesse's been really good to me, so I got no complaints. So far, he's pretty much liked everything I've written. That's rare. Can almost guarantee that it finds a home. And that's a really cool thing. Dan, you still here? Looks like you're still watching. Well, he said hi, Brett, a little bit ago. Somebody messaging me on my phone. It's gonna have to wait a minute though. They're insistent. This is so far my longest stream, I think. These art streams, the painting streams or whatever, and drawing streams tend to go quicker because, well, I'm working and it's a lot easier to let you look at my work than my face when I got nothing to say. Imagine me having nothing to say. Only when I don't know people. And I don't know the people who are going to be watching all the time. Maybe. Messenger wants me. Okay, well, I'll check that real quick. Just as soon as I finish this marking on this hornet's head. Checking. It is Chad. What's really cool is I got these white Poscas in. Can't wait to use it because these are fine tip and medium tip markers, so I can get a very fine edge. That's not the one. I think maybe it is. I'm just not comparing it to the other. And then I got these. These are Copic liners. That's basically what I did all this with, the line work. Some of them were Copic liners, some of them were, these are new ones too, so they weren't these, but they were this brand, Microns. I use a number 1, number 5, and actually 0.1, 0.5, 0.003 for very, very fine stuff. These are a thicker line too, and I use these. I quite like these. They're Tombow Fudernosukis. This one is the liner, and then there's another one that's thicker. They're calligraphy pens, but they don't look like pens, see? Or they don't look like calligraphy tips or paint tips, but these are brush tips, see? I don't know if you can see it, if it focuses. But it's like a black felt tip, but the tip is much finer. The ones that I just showed you, these are the micron versions of them. I just got them in. I haven't even tried them yet. And then for major black areas, the Copic. It's the same thing as the black marker. But it's just wider. This doesn't have a brush tip. It has a wedge tip. So you can color flat, or you can color with the tip to get some fine work. This is that little dip there is where you drip in the ink to reload it. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about these. There's a pretty good array of, like, it goes from 0.03, 0.05, 0.1, 0.2. I've had the 0.1s and the 0.003s and the 0.5s, but I haven't had the 0.3 and the 0.3 and a half and 0.2 and a half and 0.7. So I'm kind of excited to see how I can taper the lines with them. But this one, for this purposes of this live stream, I just wanted to focus on blending because, as you can see, it takes a while just to color it. If it was colors, it would be taking forever. Well, let's see. And I'm back on N2. No, N1. N0 is the lightest color. You guys hearing me pretty clearly because I had to pull the mic closer to hear myself. I figured out the delay. I said that at the beginning. I don't know if anybody actually heard that, but the reason that it was delaying is because you open Windows and there's a 10-second delay. Or not Windows, if you open YouTube on the side so that you can see the chats and hear yourself louder or whatever. But if I plug my earphones into the mic, then I can hear me through the mic and I don't have to open. So yeah, I can hear Eli breathing and holding his breath and calling the cat and giggling and everything else and every little crinkle and wrinkle of paper or whatever through the mic. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear it. Like, I can turn my gain down if it's too loud. I haven't messed with that a whole lot because I don't know what it sounds like on the other end. You know, I love to hear the sound of my own voice. Not. That's why I'm glad I have people visiting. So I can hear the sound of my own voice and know I'm actually just talking to someone and not myself. Most of the time I talk to myself. I don't have an ego or nothing, just nobody cares. Now this comes out a little bit darker. Like I said, it's going to lighten up, but for my purposes, that's fine. I'm probably going to go through with a darker one on the edges that I'm not doing right now. This is basically yellow, so it's going to be light tones. Dan, I'd love to see you doing some art again. Even just to express yourself, rough shit or whatever. It helps me. Writing helps me too, doing that. Like, if I'm having a hard day, I'll create a character to hurt. Right now, I've got a character that's an orc, and I'm pretty much giving him hell, but I'm giving him hell as a smart-ass type of thing. He's pondering things that I ponder. Like the military not allowing guns on gun ranges, except for since they don't have guns. It's like the stone throwers aren't able to practice with stones. Like, what sense does that make? How are you going to know your range? How are you going to get where you're going? I really don't get the logic in that. You go to a firing range, but, no bullets. Sometimes not even a gun, just point your finger and pretend to shoot. That'll help with the recoil. That'll help when the thing jams. Yeah, I get that, but, it can be rough. It can be all fucked up. What, colors lead your eye around, or contrasts, or angry splotches. It doesn't have to actually be a defined image. I know it'd be nice to see you be able to relieve some of the shit that you're dealing with. You can splatter paint. Maybe not. I don't know. Just an idea. I really would like to see you be able to deal with some of this hard stuff. Because, I don't think it's going to get any easier. In my experience, life doesn't tend to. Wow. I think I may have to reload that one. Maybe I'll treat it like as you're getting closer, it gets more defined, it gets a little bit more dark. Maybe the other tip will work. That shows up much better. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I wonder, because I don't have the ability right now to focus the camera where I want it to focus, and I can't just flip it around or whatever. So it's upside down and at an angle, and you're looking down the page. But it's an 11 by 17 page, so I don't know how much you can see of what I'm doing down here. Now that was just working well. Oh, that's better. Probably should replace this tip. Wants to work well from certain angles. Cool. Murder bees. Had these things for a long time. And I've neglected them for a long time. Writing novels takes up most of my energy creatively. So if I'm doing that, I'm really not doing this. Guess that's what's good about the short story is that I can wet my beak in Godfather speak. Do both at the same time. Jake's out of state. He wasn't here before. Guess I'm switching back and forth till this thing is completely dry. I've got a load, but I'm not going to run in the other end to load this thing right now. Only got a couple of more to do. Actually, a little bit of 2, 3 maybe. I think I'm going to have to switch to a darker to do the fill around the rest of the bees' heads. This definitely needed some separation to see what's going on because it's a jumble just in line work. But the man who created the comic book likes to do a lot of line work and a lot of busyness. So I was trying to accommodate his style. Okay. I go with 3 for the parts of the head so I can keep that light two-tone going on. So I don't want to take away at all from cyber frog there. Got a feeling I'm going to have to reload all of these markers. I just loaded a lot of them. Thank you guys for coming to watch me draw for a while. That's soothing. Yeah, well, it's relaxing for me anyway. I'm glad it's working for somebody else. Hopefully it doesn't make you pass out and hurt yourself. You know, now that I'm this close, I see a place that needs black. Wouldn't it just figure? Fortunately, it's a very small spot. It's funny, I've never really timed myself doing this. There's a counter here so I can tell how long it is when I'm done. This is by far my longest stream. And you get lighter by the hue and get smaller areas by the hue, so it'll be a lot less time from here on out because it's only, well, one spot of black and then the zero and the white. Yeah. And I'm going to leave the antenna the way they are because this is comic art. And it's kind of got a light gray feel to it the way it is. Won't really need any highlights. So now I'm leaving the eyes all blank because if I paint them, or if I paint this, which, like I said, I might scan it in and digitally paint it, or try and paint over the Copics. I think it's probably safer to digitally paint over it, but as long as I've got, I guess, a black and white copy at 600 dpi, then it's good for whatever I need it to be good for. This is the lightest value that they have in these markers. Like I said, it'll go on a little bit darker looking, but then lighten up when it dries. Like I didn't say heels. So metal is reflective. It's mostly drawn, leaving white edges all the way around it. I think that's just standard accepted thing from the old chrome look. But you don't have to do that way. What you have to do is show that it's reflective. Now the white. All right. Now you might have to let it dry and then do a second coat on the Posca. But it's worth it. That white's showing up for you guys? There's no blue. No. It's all just black and white. See if I can do this without knocking my markers out. No, I was saying that I was excited to have those markers to try. Gonna have to hit that white spot, darken it a little. Just didn't want to go where I wanted it to go. But don't worry, it will. I don't know where you mean. There isn't. Yeah, I'm not that far from done, I think, Brett. Just doing some spotting right now, just little stuff. I think it's just because of the camera and the type of gray it is. really kind of feel like this is not the fine point marker. But I don't read Japanese, so... Where's the spot on the blade, you said? Is it like right through here? Yeah, so what that is I used a drying one of these markers when I was lining it. So it's kind of got a rough patch. And when I colored the gray, I colored the gray over the white. Nothing really to be done for that. It's just a small spot. I am going to go grab a finer marker because I think this one is not one of the finer ones. I just didn't bring a fine one out. But I bought a 3-pack of the finer markers, so give me a second. Oh. Yeah, so it wasn't the finer tooth marker. The fine one is smaller, which explains a lot of why that's not doing the fine detail I want it to do. And it's fine while it's up there. But when I get into the smaller stuff, like what I was doing with the fingers, it's not so good. Now I just don't have any grip, so I'm trying to peel this off. There we go. All right. Much finer tip. Can you see that? How fine that tip is? Starting them, they're not quick. There we go. Let's see. much nicer. It's very fine, but I have to be very careful with it because it is. Not much left. Guess it's mostly the legs and stuff now. Not doing any highlights in any of the background, and I'm not doing any highlights in the bees. So it's just the legs and then I'm done. Thanks a lot for sticking with me. Yeah. All right. All that to turn it back around. So I'm just barely touching this. Can you see the difference it's making? I really can't tell whether you can or not, so. I can. Anyway. I'm not even going to mess with the ones on the inner thigh because you already get the hint. Your brain's already picking it up. But here I am because there's a different light source. It's the same thing in here. Oh, I don't know about drawing. I laid out this. I laid this out in. I did a layout in pencil, and then I enlarged it, and then I ended up redrawing it anyway, and so I drew it in pencil, and then I came back in and inked it, and now I'm doing the the tones. The tones so far. Eesh, 3 hours. I took a couple of days to draw it. I wasn't really timing. I just drew while I was watching live streams or whatever. Some nights it was late at night. I know that some nights I didn't shut down until way too late, but I really wasn't thinking about drawing as much as doodling and getting this done. And sometimes that happens quicker, sometimes it doesn't. This is weird. Cool thing is, I'm almost done. Feels sticky. I don't know what's going on with it. So patience, yeah. Well, I guess it's really how you approach it. If you're approaching it to like, I got to get this done and whatever, then yeah, you're not going to have patience. You're not going to have it very long anyway. I don't approach it that way. I just kind of noodle around and have fun. Or try to anyway. Now this Posca is acrylic, so if you wait for it to dry, you can draw over it, but apparently coloring over it gives you that bluish tint. But that's probably because this is whiter than the paper is white. And this is the one I wanted to retouch. So another thing is that really I don't think of this stuff in terms of shapes as much or lines as much as shapes anymore, because that's what I really want to bring out is a shape. Couple more spots real quick. So basically I'm drawing with this and I'm getting white kind of using highlights with line work. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Main thing with these Posca markers is they're paint, so you have to let them dry. But if you leave that alone and move to a different area, it doesn't take all that long to dry. I am out of here too, friend. Thank you for hanging out the whole time with me, or most of the time with me. I'm ending.